is the Big O Show. This 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 is the Big O Show. This
When presenting an award to an employee, athlete, executive, or fantasy GM, make sure you call Orvieto's Awards and More. For 35 years, these custom award specialists have been providing plaques, trophies, custom framing, while providing state-of-the-art laser and computerized engraving, UV printing, and glass crystal etching. They do all their engraving and printing in-house for quality control. Call Charles at 305-949-8098 or visit them at orvietosawards.com. Orvieto's Awards and More, where recognition is rewarding.
There's just one place to get our lowest payment on the new 2025 Acura Integra. $289 a month. It's the Season of Performance event at Acura of Pembroke Pines, #1 in the USA.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
Miles an hour, that's a Category 4 hurricane. 3 deaths are reported in Florida after more than 24 were killed in the Caribbean. This
lost city of Atlantis reveals its secrets at Toyota of Hollywood. Get legendary deals on over 2,000 Toyotas, like a 2024 Corolla, not $24,000, $20,988. Unlock the wonders of 0% financing for 5 full years, 0 down. Rediscover Atlantis at Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
After 40 years, the Big Cheese Miami is still producing great Italian food. They started in 1984. Since then, they've been winning awards while being voted the best inexpensive Italian restaurant in Miami. Visit them for great food, amazing service. Witness the decades of Cane's memories. The walls are like a Miami Hurricanes Hall of Fame. The Big Cheese delivers anything on its menu or party platter menu to your home, office, or even a park for a picnic. Located at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, Miami. Call 305-662-6855. TheBigCheeseMiami.com, where they serve large portions at family prices. Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
There's just one place to get our lowest payment on the new 2024 Acura ZDX, $299 a month. It's the Season of Performance event at Acura of Pembroke Pines, #1 in the USA.
If you're looking to take your home or business to the next level, then RM Contractors and Custom Drywall can assist you. RM specializes in new residential turnkey, new commercial turnkey, home and office remodeling. Call them for free estimates. Serving all of South Florida, licensed and insured. Call Ray or Mike, 305-345-3649. You work hard to create the perfect atmosphere. You dream it, we'll build it. RM Contractors and Custom Drywall, 305-345-3649. Or Instagram at RMC Fisher Island.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
All righty. Good morning, boys and girls. Yes, sir. It is a Tuesday. Yes, a Tuesday. November 19th. Yes. And we will have a Crypto Bro Show after this afternoon. So just in case, I'll kickstart it again. And no more traveling. So, So we'll be able to start doing it on a daily basis and start talking about some good stuff going on in the world of crypto. Anyway, we'll talk sports for now. And we've got the Dolphins getting ready for the Patriots, getting ready for a tough 2 weeks now, right? Because you've got the Patriots and then you've got the Packers on Thursday. So I'm actually looking so forward to Thursday. Seriously, I can't wait to have dinner with the family and the trees there and all that kind of good stuff. Because we got the tree out early this time. We haven't done this in years. So we got the tree out early. Now we got to finish it before Thanksgiving. So the pressure's on. And so looking forward to that. I'm actually really looking forward to almost fast forwarding to Thursday. Although today I'm a little excited because Bitcoin came out a little aggressive and the whole new thing that's going on with BlackRock. So I'm hoping that there's another sick pump coming in now. So we'll see what happens. I think we might go to all-time highs today. I'm just saying, even though the market is actually opening up. But to me, Bitcoin has kind of separated itself, decoupled, whatever you want to call it. It's kind of, it's kind of hit the fork in the road, I think, and it's going to go in its own direction now because it's always gone with the way of the market. But I don't think it is this time. So I think it's going to start going on its own. And it's done it at times here in the last year. So it's shown that it's starting to separate itself from the regular stock market and the regular, let's just call it, what's it called, liquidity that affects them may not affect crypto. So just saying. Anyway, we won't get into that as much. We're good. We'll talk more about that on the Crypto Bro Show. Actually, we'll have a little fun with that. But anyway, so we got some stuff to talk about. Ira Winderman will join us at 10:30 after yesterday's win against the Sixers, 106-89. And normally you get excited, but the Sixers are 2-11. So without Maxey and stuff, they're not the same team. And Butler had a nice game. Tyler Hero had a great third quarter, right? It was the third quarter, right, where he scored like 16 points or something, or 14 points or something, right? It was last night. I'm trying to remember. I was watching the game, and it was the third quarter because I was going, hey, it was in a third quarter. Yesterday. That was a cool thing about the game yesterday, that we didn't get a third quarter. We had a terrific third quarter, and that's where Tyler didn't necessarily play great. He shot 6 of 15, 2 of 10 from 3-point range, but he did score a chunk of points in that third quarter, and then Jimmy Butler led the way with 30 points. He came back and finally showed up, so we'll see if he can start playing like a star, because that's the problem with the Heat. They have no stars. That's the real problem with the Miami Heat. They have no stars on that team. Jimmy Butler is no longer a star because you've got to be available to be a star. You know what I'm saying? You've got to be able to carry a team, and he can't do that anymore. So I know what he's doing. It's a whole con job. He's trying to get through the season and do enough to show enough to try to tease somebody to trade for him, because he's got to know deep down inside the Heat are not giving him the money no matter what. I'm pretty sure of that now. And it's not that I cover the Heat or I have any inside, but I can tell the Heat is not giving him an extension. They've made that decision already. And kudos to them on that one. Kudos that they didn't fall for it in the initially, and I think kudos they're not going to give him no extension. At this point, it would be catastrophically stupid to give him any more money than you have to give him going into next season. So it's nice that he showed up yesterday, but again, the Sixers are kind of a shitty team right now, 2-11. And that's who Miami has been. They beat shitty teams. They don't really beat a lot of good teams. They've got Dallas on Sunday, so they've got several days off now. And then Tuesday, Milwaukee, and Wednesday at Charlotte. So that's the next stretch that's coming up
No Rozier, no Jaquez yesterday in the game. But again, Sixers aren't very good, so they took care of business. And, boy, they are missing Maxey in a big-time way, dude. Big-time way. Anyway, Panthers are back in action tonight against the Jets, who they just spanked, so that's cool. David Long signs with the Detroit Lions practice squad, so he's on a winning team. Interesting. Marlins, they hire a new manager. You know, I was thinking about this. Oh, God. I hate to treat it this way, but I have to treat it this way because you are the Miami Marlins. And I saw the comments from Bruce Sherman and all that, all the hot air he's trying to blow. And it's, first of all, I got to tell you something, man. I've been a reporter in this business for a long time, and I've been the reporter that had to like cover all events for a station, whether it's a soccer press conference, whether it's a baseball press conference, a hockey press conference, a football press conference, a basketball. I've been that guy that's had to cover everything. I've been the guy that's had to cover just an entire beat, whether it's been all baseball, all hockey, all football, all basketball. I've done it all. And one of the things that I don't miss at all about this business, there's a lot of things I don't miss about this business anymore that I don't have to do, and I'm so grateful for that. And I would never do again, probably. I don't really want, I really have no, real desire to do it. All those people that had to, like, I'm watching Josh Moser out there and other outlets that have to be out there to cover a meaningless story, bro, with a meaningless team, and you're standing there and you're covering another manager. And that's all it is with the Marlins. It'll be another manager in a couple of years. Just like at FIU, it'll be another head coach, and at FAU, it'll be another head coach. And why? Well, because you don't have the money to really run a football program at FIU and FAU. So in the and today's NIL type programs, even less. So there's a lot of things that are going on in society that reflect the same thing that are going on in schools. Could Harvard expand their classes? Of course they could. Of course they could. But every one of those kind of schools, they don't want to do that. They want to make it really hard to get in there, so only a few can get in, the elite can get in, and the people that graduated, their diplomas are worth more. But a great institution like that could expand and allow more people to get a great education, but they don't. You know what I'm saying? Housing. Where's it going? It's just going up and up and up. And what's happening with housing? The elite are the only ones that are going to be able to own houses, not the regular person. College football is the same thing as life. We are slowly but surely distancing the classes, the middle class from the rich. Forget the poor. I mean, they're way behind that. The middle class is only getting crushed now. Well, same thing in football. The FIUs and the FAUs of the world, they don't have the money to hang with the UMs and the FSUs and the Alabamas and the Georgia Techs or the Georgias and the, you know what I'm talking about. The Marlins, they don't have the money to hang with the Mets and the Phillies and the Yankees and the Dodgers and so on and so forth. And so I'm watching this, and it's just like watching a hamster on a wheel. And you're not going anywhere, but you keep pedaling on that wheel, and it just keeps going round, and you're not advancing anywhere. And it's just... And that's what it's like being a head coach for the football program at FIU and FAU. That's what it's like being a Marlins manager. you're not going to be given the resources in order to succeed. And in life, if you're poor and you are not going to be given the resources to get better in life. Because that's kind of where we're going. It's all the same thing. It's hilarious how everything reflects what really is going on in reality. And this is what you watch. You've got a sport in baseball that there's such an imbalance that it's ridiculous. And I'm watching Clayton McCullough, who's got no shot at succeeding. No shot. His only shot is what Skip just did right now. Okay? The last manager, what did he do? He showed his wares, and they saw it that, wow, this guy worked with nothing and made something out of nothing. All right, let's go get him. And so now you get an opportunity to go to a better organization and then climb within that organization and go get your opportunity. And that's what's going to happen. And now, if you're Clayton McCullough, you got to try to do the best you can, elevate as much as you can. You're not going to really win. Nobody's expecting you to win with no resources. But try to overachieve a little bit. And if you prove that, then now you have followed the footsteps of that's how you get out of here. Because you're certainly not going to have a long-term career here because you don't have the players. And if you're a good manager, like the last one you had, you don't want to stay here. You want to get out. And that's exactly what he did. No. And they renegotiated that deal, and he got himself out this past season. Good for him. He deserves much better than the shit that goes on here with Miami. Okay? And so Bruce Sherman can pull all the bullshit he wants because that's all he was doing is selling a lot of hot air. Oh, we're doing everything and to support and a pitching coach and a hitting coach and a butting coach and a farting coach. I didn't know True Fin Fan got a job. Apparently, they've got even a farting coach for the Marlins. True Fin Fan's there. So, you guys want to hook up with the Marlins, ask True Fin Fan. He's the farting coach for the Marlins because, Bruce Sherman was bragging about all the coaches they have now to develop. Who cares? We've seen a lot of developing. They don't keep anybody, but I've watched a lot of players develop. I'm an expert at watching players develop with the Marlins for 20 years. I'm an expert at watching them develop and leave and get the hell out of town and go to a real team. Just, God, what a waste of time. What a waste of resources for every radio. Well, there's only one. TV stations, writers, newspapers. What a waste of your time that you actually send people to cover the Marlins. Why? Why would you cover the Marlins? Why would you waste your money? Miami Herald, Sun Sentinel, the Post, I'm sure, has no Marlins writer. But why would you spend your money covering that when you can just do it from the television with some half-ass, reporter, writer of some fresh face inside the office? You don't use your real reporters. Use a newbie that you're training to watch it on television, to watch the press conferences, and write a stupid story about the Marlins. They can get the quotes right from the television. Boom. Very generic. They don't have to go there. Television, you don't have to go there. People, you don't have to go there. I don't understand any of this. They're not trying whatsoever. It's the biggest scam out there. And so use your resources, Herald and Channel 10 and 4 and all that. Use them to cover the Canes and the Dolphins and the Heat and the Panthers. Like teams that really give a shit, the teams that are really trying to win. Why are you sending Will Manso down there with a cameraman? Why are you sending Josh Moser down there with a cameraman? That's money. You don't need to spend your budget on that shit. Oh, you guys got a new manager? Great. Send us a picture and some still video from your press conference, and we'll mention it on our newscast. Put up a picture of McCullough. Marlins hired a new manager. Move on to the next story. I don't really understand. And I was thinking about this selfishly. I used to have to do all those things. And there is no excitement to cover something like that. When Riley comes to town and Mickey Harrison hires him, that's exciting. That's real. That's tangible. You can feel the excitement. You can slice the energy when that happens. But this, I'm watching this and it's like, come on, dude. What kind of a joke is this? This is a manager that's got no shot whatsoever. This is a team that's got no shot whatsoever, and an owner that's got no money. A poor-ass owner with the rich boys. Ridiculous. Clayton McCullough. A nothing story, and it's just a waste of money. And we're good at that. We're good at just wasting our money. And that's exactly what you do with the Marlins. A waste of time and a waste of money. Amazing. Anyway, what else do we have going on? You know what I want to do? I'm going to do early. I'm going to do some music early just to kind of change it up before Ira gets on. I'm going to do a little music. And then I'll get to your questions. Remember, you can make a donation, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. And you can make a Bitcoin or Ethereum donation. As always, thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's see what we got here. Okay. All right. All right, let's start off with some birthdays today. Let's start off with some musicians today. What do we have? Matt Sorum, drummer, percussionist for the Cult before joining Guns N' Roses. Born in 1960. Also celebrating a birthday today, Fred Lipsis, piano saxophonist for Blood, Sweat, and Tears. 1943. Eddie Rayner, keyboardist from the Kiwi group Split Enz. Eddie Rayner, born in 1941. One step ahead of you. 1939. Pete Moore was born from the Miracles with Smokey Robinson. Ray Collins, vocalist for Frank Zappa's band, born in 1937 on this date. And let's see, that's it for musicians. Let's go with birthdays celebrating today. Tyga is 35. Calvin Klein is 82. Carson Beck is 22. Larry King, born on this date in 33, lost him in 21. Adam Driver, movie actor, 41, Star Wars. Let's see, Jodie Foster, 62. Meg Ryan, 63. Who else? Patrick Kane, hockey player, 36. Fred Warner, badass linebacker, 28. Who else celebrating birthdays? Allison Janney. A lot of actresses today, huh? 65. And that seems like that's it right there. All right. Sean, do you have any wrestlers celebrating birthdays today, sir?
Yes, sir, we do. Darius Martin turns 25. Dara Singh was born on this date in 1928. We lost him in 2012. And one of the great valets, Miss Elizabeth, was born on this date in 1960. Sadly, we lost her in 2003. Those are your birthdays for November 19th, 2024.
All right. Bitcoin, by the way, farting around 92,000, 91,969. Let's go, baby. Let's pump. All-time high today. All right, let's go to music history. On November 19th, what happened today in music history on November 19th? In 1973, Led Zeppelin began sessions for their 6th album by recording demos called Driving to Kashmir. Da-na-na, da-na-na. The song's title later would be just shortened to Kashmir. In 2007, Quiet Riot singer Kevin Dubrow died of an accidental cocaine overdose. In 88, Bon Jovi started a 2-week run at number 1 on the singles charts with Bad Medicine, the lead single from the band's album, New Jersey. The track became the group's 3rd number 1. 2001, Mick Jagger released his solo album, Godness in the Doorway. The sales of the day were 954 copies. In 98, Motley Crue opened a retail store in Los Angeles called S Crew. The place sold merchandise from the band's tours, items from bassist Nikki Sixx and singer Vince Neil's clothing line, and all the band's albums. In 2003, Stone Temple Pilots announced they were splitting up. And that's what happened today in Musica history. All right. Yes. By the way, speaking of music, for those of you locally, Tesla has been announced March 16th. It's a Sunday at the Coconut Creek Casino outdoors. And then in Jacksonville, by the way, on March 5th, John Waite, March 22nd at the Amaturo Theater in Broward Center. March 22nd, Saturday, listen to this trio, the Commodores, Blue Oyster Cult, and Steve Algeri. It's at the Arts Park at Young Circle in Hollywood, March 22nd. On the same day you see the Commodores, or what's left of them, you'll see what's left of Blue Oyster Cult also. It's easy like Godzilla on Sunday morning. Robin Trower, the legend, baby. February 21st at the Parker Playhouse. The Damned, if you're into a little punk rock, at Revolution Live, May 13th on a Tuesday. Jefferson Starship, what's left of them also at the Parker Playhouse in Fort Lauderdale on Sunday, March 9th. And listen to this, for those of you that are in Vegas, Howard Hewitt, who is the one member out of the 3 from Shalimar, and Climax, May 31st at Westgate in Vegas. So Howard Hewitt is touring around, bro, with Climax. Woo! Damn. That's throwback right there. That's throwback. John Geeb, thank you for the love on the super chat. He says, barring no setbacks or major injuries, what's your thoughts on the possibility of Miami running the table to make the playoffs realistic or completely unrealistic? But hey, man, you know, Whatever floats your boat. Yeah, I hope it happens. I hope I'm wrong, but yeah, no, I'm not counting on them running the table, dude. I'd love to, but this has been a bad coach from the get-go. All of a sudden, I'm going to think that he's a good coach. I give him credit, at least. He's running and adjusted to what he has to do, at least. Give him that. Luckily, he has the quarterback that can do stuff like that. Steve Chapman is in the house. Number 1, NorCal is waking and a bacon. Jeff in Long Island, One-Eyed Jack, Dolphin Dave. NorCal is grinding up a bud right now. Gus 1388, Brian Radke, Kyle Cockrow, Alexis Palenzuela, Anthony Barrios, Ray Sosa, Kyle Cockrow, Caspa being listed. Yep, on Kraken. I heard. Walter Olivares, NorCal. If it's the blueberry fritter or my phone, but the video is fuzzy. Never mind, it's clear now. Kyle says, my Tangent wallet hit an all-time high this morning. There you go. I think all of us that have been in it right now, we're all hitting all-time highs every single day. Wallets are blowing up, dude. I mean, Hedera has got my wallet exploding right now. So it's a beautiful thing. Got all kinds of things going on. So it's nice. Illuvium's been moving for me. Not only Hedera, been moving very well. Cardano moved a lot. Polkadot moved a little bit. Algorand moved a little bit. Obviously, Solana's moved a ton. So all of that right now, yeah, it's been moving. It's been nice. Neutron moved some too. I'm a big Neutron guy, so that's been really, really cool to see. What else do we have here? Lenny Pena, loving the Heat win last night. John Veloria, thoughts of Pat Riley getting a statue at Staples Center. I love it. Well deserved. It's actually, I talk about this all the time. I hate when they do it in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, that they go and they honor somebody and they're already fucking dead, or they're too old to come up and accept the award, or somebody has their wife or their son or daughter has to come up because they're long gone. And it's like, what are we waiting for? What are we waiting for? Pat's old enough as it is. That statue should have been there years ago, dude. He should have been one of the first statues right up there, right after a couple of the big players. Pat should have been there already. And here in Miami, you need to build one that's 30 foot tall. Okay? All right? You need to build one where you can't reach the damn pigeons when they're sitting on his head. That's what you need to do here. Not only, yes, he deserves one over there by miles. Hell, considering what's gone on with the Knicks, they should build one there too. Last time the Knicks were respectable, it was Pat Riley's stamp that was left there. It was during Riley and Van Gundy, and that was all Riley, pretty much, because it was his culture that was left over. And then, of course, once he's gone, the culture died and it went away, which is what we fear if it ever happens here. When he leaves, does the culture disappear as time goes on? You know what I'm saying? Don Shula isn't around anymore. Is that culture still around? Everything he built has been destroyed. So, the Miami Heat, don't wait till he leaves to, Long Beach or some shit, whatever it is over there in the West Coast. Don't wait till then. Celebrate his ass now and build one that's like 30 foot tall, because that's what he deserves. So now let's get to Ira Winderman and our Acura Pembroke Pines, Miami Heat, and NBA report.
Heat fans, time for the best insight of your favorite team with insider Ira Winderman, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. It's the Acura of Pembroke Pines, Miami Heat and NBA report. Here's Ira Winderman.
morning, sir. How are you doing?
It is a good morning. It's interesting the timing of our shows. If he did Monday, would not have been a good morning. Waited one more day, worked out perfectly. So a better morning than I might even have expected after that trip, playing a back-to-back against the 76ers. And Big O, this is the classic example where if you think it's bad where you are, look where some of these other teams are. You could be where Philly is. You could be where Milwaukee is. So yes, not perfect, not 500 yet for the Heat. But believe me, this league is upside down at the moment.
Well, and again, the chemist is at work right now. And so he's still figuring out who's who, what's what, who's healthy. Butler was out of lineup. Now he's back in. Now you're missing Terry. You're missing Jaquez. So, he's got to do the whole juggling and balancing act and all that. So Spo's got to figure all this stuff out. Look, Hero last night didn't have a good game. It was just a really fun third quarter. You know what I'm saying? So, and it was what was it, 14, 16 points? What did he score in that third quarter? Something like that, right?
He scored 16. He just, you know what, it's funny because everyone talked about his first halves and then tapering off this season. But you can see with Jimmy back, it was a little bit of a different alignment. Like you said, a bunch of adjusting going on, adjusting to Jimmy, adjusting to Terry being out. It's early. Just gain your footing, know what you do well, find out what you don't do well, and you move past that also. So that's the difference. This isn't the Dolphins. It's not a 17-game schedule. There's 82 games. Better to learn early than to fail late.
Now, in the end, they're going to need the purple hair man to kind of be out there more often, or red hair. It was red, right? It was red.
I'm gonna go with crimson, but the uniforms are called blood red. I think he was trying to match that. Yeah.
Whatever that color was. But they need him every night, or as many nights as possible, and they need him to play like he played last night. They have no star power on this team, and if Jimmy doesn't fill that void, dude, this is going to be an even longer season.
And look, we know what Jimmy looks like with 9 days off last night, and that's all well and good. That's not going to happen that much. Yes, he's going to have 5 days off before Dallas on Sunday because of this break here in the middle of the schedule. But Jimmy's got to be able to show that he could persevere. One, he wants the money, whether it's from the Heat, whether it's from someone else in the offseason as a free agent. He certainly has ample motivation. We also see something, and I just posted a story at sunsentinel.com on this. The Heat can talk all they want about running and playing at speed. The Heat can talk all they want about outscoring you. It's not who they are. It's Jimmy Butler busting his way to 13 free throws, holding the other team down defensively, and winning in the low hundreds. This is never going to be a roster that's going to beat you 125, 124. It's simply not how they're built. It's built to play around Jimmy Butler bully ball. We saw it last night. Joel Embiid talked about it in the postgame how when Jimmy's playing like this, he's one of the best players in the league. But like Big O has said on our Accurate Pembroke Pines report for years now, it just can't be a sometimes sort of thing. If you're a great player in this league, it has to be an all-the-time thing because that's what the great players in this league do.
Yeah, but the flip side is and that's where the chemist has to come in and kind of figure this out. You can be some bully ball, but you're going to have you can't be a 2-point team in a 3-point world. So you've got to find that mix where you have bully, but you also have some firepower. And you've got to find a way where you get consistency. Duncan started yesterday, but you've got to find some consistency from Tyler and Duncan and a couple of other guys that they've got to be able to really make an impact from the perimeter in this league. That's just the way it is. Or if not, the bully ball thing, you can't play like that for 82 games because that also wears you down trying to keep up with these 3-point offenses. So that's where that balance is really difficult right now for Spo.
No, and I agree, and two factors there. But he changed the lineup because when Jimmy plays bully ball, he gets to the rim and he can kick out. The Heat did have 40-plus 3-point attempts, which is where you need to be in today's NBA. Now, they got the shots. Tyler was 2 of 10. Duncan was 2 of 10. That's not going to continue. I'm not saying they're 40% 3-point shooters, but I sure as hell know after seeing the body of work from them, they're not 20% 3-point shooters. So the Heat got closer to that game yesterday. To your point, Jimmy played a team-high 33. You can't have Jimmy leading the team in minutes. At 35 years old, that's not safe. But like Eric Spoelstra said, that's where our depth comes in. That's where I'll cycle through guys. It might be Jaquez one night. It might have to be Alec Burks one night. It's going to be different guys each night, but we're going to have to keep Jimmy fresh. So it's going to be interesting. They didn't play him on the back-to-back this time. They gave him Sunday off. I thought he was ready, but hey, that's a team decision. But look at next week. When you go to Toronto for a game on Sunday night and Boston for a game on a Monday night, how are you going to manage that back-to-back? What the Heat can't afford is this. They can't pick and choose. They can't sit Jimmy out during back-to-back sets for one of the games. They're not that good. They don't have that sort of leverage or option to play players only on certain nights. They need wins. You're going to have to manage minutes. You're going to have to make the most of your depth, and you're going to have to decide who that depth is. Big O, it's going to be really interesting when Terry Rozier comes back. Does he come back as a starter, or did this open the door for Spoelstra to move to something else? If Terry is ready by Sunday against the Mavericks, I'm really curious to see how it plays out.
Or maybe you ease him back since he is coming back from the injury anyway, as it is, because it's a foot or a knee or whatever.
It's a foot injury they called general soreness. Was it just because it was the second day of a back-to-back? Here's the problem or concern I have. You remember this. Last year, the Heat played a game in Indiana, and the Heat said Terry slept on the wrong side of the bed. He didn't play well, so we're going to give him some time off. Then we find out later he's in a damn neck brace, and he misses the entire summer and something more. One thing I've learned in the NBA, until a player comes back, I don't necessarily take these minor injuries as minor. I need to see them back on the court. Good thing there's a 5-day break. We'll see a little bit more on Sunday.
So you mean there's those days of watching Tim Hardaway work the little wooden thing for his plantar fasciitis so he can play every day? Those kind of days are gone?
They're not gone, but I think right now they can tell injuries that are far more serious. Here's the problem. As medicine and testing has gotten better, they might have looked at those Tim Hardaway injuries and going, oh my God, this guy's got to sit for 6 weeks. They didn't know. They didn't have the testing. They didn't have the quality MRI now. It's almost as if in sports we know too much. That with the testing for concussions and the person in the stands in the NFL and even in the NBA right now, where they're taking players off the field or off the court. We never had that before. So before, you didn't know any better. You sent him, you pushed Tim's butt back out there. You gave him a weight clause. You told him lose some weight and get out there. Now, all of a sudden, sports science, we're finding out things maybe we're better off before when we didn't find out. At least not in the case of concussions, but with other injuries.
I watched Alonzo Mourning, Tim Hardaway, and Jason Taylor play with plantar fasciitis. And that's the positions that those people are playing.
Sure.
That's the injury you want to have with that position. You know what I'm saying?
But it's also the toughness factor. You remember this, Big O. In the 2020 NBA Finals, Goran Dragic had no right to play that game against the Lakers when he came back. He didn't have plantar fasciitis. He had everything torn apart in his foot. But he still went out there with his Herman Munster boots because he wanted to get on the court. So that's part of it also, how much you want. The problem is with the NBA, there's too many games. So you can skip 5, 10, Jimmy 22, and still come back and hope to be ready for the playoffs. The problem is you play that waiting game like the Sixers are with Joel Embiid only appearing in 3 games so far. You get to the playoffs, you might not be the team you thought you were.
You heard it when you were joining us there. Riley gets a statue, overdue in LA, and I'm glad that they're doing it for him. Like I was talking about, let's honor these people when you can enjoy the damn honor. They've already earned the damn honor. Let's go, bro. What are we waiting for at times? And by the way, I'd like a nice tall statue in Miami too already.
Yeah, it's a tough call because I'm sure Pat Riley's going, wait a minute, do they know something about my health I don't? They're giving me a cord, they're giving me a statue, but I agree. At 79 years old, you don't want to have, a ceremony like that where you don't have the person who can really relish the moment. I agree. I think the Lakers thing was always held off because what happened? He became more and more a product of the Heat. Nobody thought Pat Riley would spend well more time in Miami than he did with the Showtime Lakers. So I think he was not viewed. Magic Johnson is only a Laker. James Worthy is only a Laker. Kobe Bryant is only a Laker. You look at those players solely as, I think it's a tough call for other teams when players have been in multiple spots. Look how long the Raptors waited on Vince Carter to make that the first number they retired. Vince had a career. He played for every team in the NBA eventually. So I understand the Lakers waiting to sort of open that door to players who are also with other teams. But I agree, and I wrote that in my Ask Ira today at sunsentinel.com. Of course there's going to be a Pat Riley statue. The thing I find fascinating is, after seeing the Dwayne statue, is Pat going to have a hand in who does his statue and how that's going to turn out? So I'll be curious about that. Yeah.
Yes. Go. Whoever did Ed Reed's statue or whatever, yeah, Pat. Let's whoever did Don Shula and Marino's statue.
Yes.
Have those people do your statue, but let's have something really special for Pat Riley.
And I think they will. And it's interesting. For people who look at the press release, the release the Lakers had of Pat Riley's slick back hair on the sideline, the ultimate Showtime coach. We saw it in a Showtime series. That look, it's going to be in an Armani. It's going to be with the slick back hair. It's going to be from the Lakers era. You know what? It's interesting. Eric Spoelstra said something very interesting last night about Pat Riley. He said he made coaching cool. I thought that was a really good line that he had because it wasn't your high school gym teacher in his knee-high socks anymore. It was a guy who transcended sports and brought it into entertainment. That's really what Pat Riley did.
And let me tell you something. You and I have been around a long time, and I mentioned it before you came on. We have witnessed what it's like to build a culture, okay, with Don Shula, with Ron Frazier, by the way, because if you really look at the Ron Frazier, what he built since then, okay, it's been always on a decline from that point on, okay, even with the guy from Long Beach that took over, Jim, God, what's his name? The coach that won a couple titles also right after.
Drawing a blank also, yeah.
But it was
Morris, was that it? Jim Morris?
Jim Morris.
Yes.
Jim Morris. But it was still kind of on a decline. And then we saw what Don Shula built. That's gone, dude. That's gone. So appreciate Pat Riley. Appreciate the hell out of Pat Riley and the culture he built and all of that. Because you could talk about the future and everybody's set in place and all that kind of stuff. But we've watched it in the past to live up to the person that set that culture up. It's going to be really hard for Nick Harrison and everybody else to live up to that. So that's why I'm saying build that statue, my brother, because that man deserves it. I've watched others build cultures, and I've watched that more often than not, you're not going to be able to maintain it. So Heat fans, appreciate it because I've said it. He doesn't have his fastball lately. He doesn't bring in whales anymore like he used to. I get it. But even his days that he doesn't have the fastball, you're still getting to the Eastern Conference Finals. You're still getting the NBA Finals. You're still one of the more respectable teams in the NBA. You're still one of the more winning franchises in the NBA. So even if he's not at his best right now, you're still way better than most.
And what tells you about his legacy is this. He has been an executive now for over a quarter century, and yet everyone still calls him Coach Riley. They remember his roots. They remember what he did. That's his legacy. They always say you never want to replace the great coach. You want to be the guy who replaces the guy who replaced the great coach. Right. So I do think the executive that follows Pat is going to have an awfully tough road to hoe because of that legacy. You may want to be 2 down the line there and not the next guy coming in. Don't be Don Nelson after Pat Riley left New York. Be Jeff Van Gundy. Be the second guy in. It's a lot easier that way.
And dude, the guy developed 2 great coaches for you because Stan can coach his ass off. Yep. And then you got Spo. Not only did he build a great culture, but he also built a pipeline of coaches because he even left the Knicks, with Jeff. I was, having
Gundy,
I was just having some fun with it. Maybe they should put a statue outside for New York too, because the last time they were highly respected, it was when Riley's culture was in New York also.
Or put a Alonzo Mourning statue out there with Jeff Van Gundy hanging off his leg, and then you got it all covered there. Maybe that's the option.
Yeah, that could be the option. All right. What are you working on the Sentinel?
I wrote a story, just posted it now. Let's face it, the Heat with Jimmy Butler are the Heat. They've got to get back to that. Jimmy has to stay in the court. They've got to play toward Jimmy's skill. Jimmy has to realize at 35, he has to work other guys in. He has to be smart with his body. But you saw last night, he makes such a difference. 11 points in his first 9 minutes. When he's at his best, the Heat are at their best. And then I wrote my Ask Ira today about how it's got to be a meritocracy off the bench. Last night we saw Alec Burks and Drew Smith getting it done. You get it done, you play. It's not just because you're Josh Richardson and you've been here before. It's not just because you're a guy they gave a salary to. I really like what Spo did that in the second half. Hey, Nico, you might have been good on Sunday, but you weren't good in the first half. You're not playing in the second half. Khalil Ware, we did spend another number 15 pick on you, but you've got to produce to be out there. Pella Larson, we gave you an early shot, didn't work out. Maybe some G League time. It's got to be that way. You build around your star players. Either you fit in the other guys or you fit out. I think that's important. I addressed that in my Ask Ira today at sunsentinel.com.
By the way, I'm going to reach on this one. Is there any chance they're playing this kid just to try to trade him, and that's why they played him, because they gave him a contract? And I agree with you, but is it just because maybe they want to unload that salary down the line?
I think more than anything else, they're just trying to see what fits in now with the roster. Again, keep in mind one day, and we'll deal with this in our Accurate Pembroke Pines report later next month. December 15th is the first time you can trade guys who you signed in the offseason. I think that's when the motor gets started. I believe, not to be unfair to them, but if he could move off the Thomas Bryant and the Josh Richardson contracts and regain the flexibility in the tax, you can get better players who fit, maybe another power forward. Not saying it'll be PJ Tucker, but you can get another guy who fits the role for your team better. Right now, what we had in this offseason, because there was no whale, you had a bunch of guys you threw together to see how you can make it work. They'll have a chance to mold through December 15th. Then they can start to figure who they want to be. That's when a good half of the league becomes more tradable. So we're about a month away when I think we'll start seeing real, genuine movement in the NBA.
Yeah, because the Richardson thing, I mean, I'd rather go young, but I'm watching.
I agree. Yeah.
I'm like, are you trying to showcase him to see if you can, an extra piece and part of a trade, and you throw it in, whatever?
Honestly, they would trade guys like that or Thomas Bryant for a pick or almost nothing just to regain the flexibility. So it will be interesting. But I like what he said is, hey, Drew Smith, you were good, you play. Alec Burke, you were good, you play. That's what they need to do. Get your best players on the court. You need to win now. You're still under 500.
Follow him on Twitter at Ira Heatbeat and catch his exceptional work there at the South Florida Sun Sentinel. We'll catch up next week, my friend. Thank you, sir.
Catch you next week in our Accurate Pembroke Pines report. Thanks, Big O.
Thank you, sir. There you go. Ira Winderman and our Accurate Pembroke Pines, Miami Heat and NBA report. And by the way, the 2025 Integra is in. You can get it $339 a month for all approved leases. They also have 3.9% financing for 60 months. The 2025 RDX is in, $399 a month, in stock for immediate delivery. Get on out there, take advantage of it. The ZDX, get electrified, all approved leases, $449 a month, 0.9% financing for 72 months, no payments for 90 days. Get on down there. Go see Larry Schlossberg and Pat Nasto and Tony Stampone. All the amazing people getting it done at Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines.
You've been listening to the Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA report with Ira Winderman. When you're looking for award-winning service and great deals from the #1 volume Acura sales dealership in the Southeast United States, you go to Craig's in Acura of Pembroke Pines at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
All right. Big O, does baseball have a future here? Seems like no one cares. Jose, we're not the problem. Okay? When ownership doesn't care, ownership doesn't spend, and ownership doesn't try, it's their fault. The Marlins are in the situation they're in because they want to be in that situation. Hockey is harder to sell than baseball. And the arena's packed. Why? Because for 7 years, they've been going to the playoffs. Their ownership gives a shit. They put together a hell of a team. They put together stars. They keep their stars. They re-sign them. These guys don't care. These guys don't sign anybody. So baseball's problem is baseball, not us. We gave you a stadium. Everything is there. It's up to you to do what you have to do, but Bruce Sherman doesn't have enough money. So Cesar Cienfuentes, Big O, how about Jonnu Smith tossing the football up in the air after one of his TDs this weekend, and it landed in his son's hands in the crowd? Crazy. I did not know that. That's pretty cool. Let's see. Imagine having to play a loser club like the Marlins. I mean, James Vivinetti, Devin Jordan, Big O, what do you know about climate? Come on, man. Got a meeting in the ladies' room. I'll be back real soon. Come on. How you testing me? Huh? What's wrong with you? Don't test me. Especially old school, don't test me. Okay? The men all paused. Let's see. I know you're not a fan of the coach, but I think he's getting better, Big O. Yeah, no, Mike McDaniel sucks, but he is getting he has adjusted. Not getting better. He still blew a timeout after a timeout. You know, he still does shit that makes no sense whatsoever. So, you know, let's not get crazy. You know what I mean? This is what happens when you win 2 games. You start writing articles about, well, we know we can turn things around. You haven't turned shit around. You've won 2 games. The season hasn't turned around for anything. The coach hasn't gotten any better for anything. It's just 2 games that he's adjusted, and he has stayed with the short passing game. That's it. But if he's such a good coach, how come he still can't free up anybody for bigger plays? How come he can't get Waddle going if he's such a, good coach? You know what I'm saying? So, let's pump the brakes. Let's just enjoy the wins. Let's hope they win again this week, but let's not look too much into it. Okay? It's a very mediocre coached team. All right? Let's just call it like we see it. This is not a good coach. But he's done a nice job of adjusting to what needs to be done right now. I'll give him that. Let's see. Captain Saki, good morning, Big O. Tarpon Springs in the house. George Grass in. Sam I am. Chris Johnson. Wadmir. Tyler still had a good game overall. Shooting was not there, but let's not forget he played a ton the night before. And so what? Who gives a shit what he played the night before? Every night you play, you're supposed to produce, dude. And yesterday, he had a great third quarter, but he scored 18 points on 6 of 15 shooting, 2 of 10 from three-point range. He had 5 assists and 3 turnovers. He had a good third quarter, bro. That's all. He had a good third quarter. That's it. Didn't have a good game. But, whatever. Root for the Finns to win every game, but we also need the Colts and Broncos to lose. Unfortunately, the Colts have the easiest remaining schedule and beat us head-to-head. Yeah, I'm not even worried about that, Dougie Fresh. They dug themselves this hole. They lost to the Colts because they have terrible coaching. They lost to Seattle because they have terrible coaching. They have 4 losses on their schedule because they have terrible coaching. So, I'm not even looking at the other games. I don't even care. The Dolphins don't make the playoffs. It's because of Mike McDaniel, not because of anything else. So I really don't care about what other teams do. I'm just not doing. That's for me. At this point, if I have to do that, then the season's. I know. Here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, this team is not very good because of the coach. All right? And you got your share of injuries, too, on top of all of that. You need something special to go out there and run the table and win. I've seen this story before where you kill yourself, you try to get in the playoffs, or you don't, or you barely get in. For what? To get embarrassed? You know, I just don't have a lot of hope for him. I'm just going to enjoy week to week and hope that they win. And then that's it. Live with the results. But they kind of already ruined the season for me because they've already put themselves in an unrealistic position that they're not good enough to climb out of. I'm just not going to sit here and lie to myself. And I'm not going to lie to you guys about what I'm watching. Let's see. What else do we have? Oscar Rojas, good morning, sir. Joseph, good morning. Frankie Fresco. Frankie Spolstra, they should name, let's see. They should name a street, the locker room, the practice court, and the ocean right in front of the arena. They should call it Spo Bay. Okay? They should go overboard for Spo whenever he retires. That's what I would do at Spo. That guy's the best. Yater Castro is saying, fellas, can we all smash it, please, for our good buddy O? And don't leave Sean out. Don't ever leave Sean out. And thank you, Yater, for looking out, my brother. Today's the anniversary of Milli Vanilli stripped of their Grammy. Girl, you know it's true. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I love you. Deep down, most of those longtime beat writers that were at the introductory know Sherman is full of hot air. I know, but it's to have to cover that. Like, I would hate to be in this business and work at an outlet and they tell me, hey, we need you to go cover the Marlins press conference. And I'm going to look at them like, really? Like, why do we have to cover that? Jesus Christ. And I'd be there like with a shit face, just like putting a mic there. Ugh. Oh, how useless, dude. Seriously. What a waste of everyone's time covering a Marlins press conference. What a waste of time. This feels like a 9-8 finish. Please stop dreaming. Big O, I agree. Pat Riley deserves a statue before the old man passes away. Hell yeah. And Devin, don't test my climax knowledge. Ever. Big O, how do you feel about Jonnu Smith? Isn't a freak athlete, but he gets the job done. He seems tough. He's a freak athlete for a tight end. He moves well, dude. He's one of the 3-5 fastest tight ends in the NFL. That's freakish enough for me. He's good, man. He's good. Is he Kellen Winslow-like? Is he Tony Gonzalez-like? No, that's not his game. Right? He's not that airborne type of dude. You know, he can get up, you know, he leaps up, but not soars up there. Right? That Kellen Winslow, because he was a basketball player, and Tony Gonzalez and all that, they brought a different skill set to the game. You know what I'm saying? So he's not those kind of guys, but he's explosive. He can move, man. He can run. So I like him. I'm a big fan of his. I thought they were going to use him more from the get-go. Remember, you can make a donation, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. And you can make a Bitcoin or Ethereum donation there also, which you know we love our Bitcoin and Ethereum donations. Always love that. And you can also make a donation through PayPal too, which is a beautiful thing. You can use our QR code there to make a donation through PayPal. And by the way, we are over 92,470 right now. I like it. I told you. I told you, man. I told you. Dow Jones. The Dow Jones is down 207%. But Bitcoin, no, Bitcoin at 92,309. Jess is on its own path. We're going to break records today. We're 1,000 away from the record. 93.3, I think, is the record. So I have a feeling. I got a feeling. Okay. I got a Black Eyed Peas feeling. We're gonna break all-time highs today. I'm looking forward to it. Big O, have you listened to the new Cure album? Pretty damn good. Hope they tour next year. My concert calendar has been crap this year. Pat in Asheville. We got to go, bro. We got to go, Pat. We got to go. We got to travel. We got to travel. But yes, I'm with you. They will. And I've heard the album, and it's fantastic. And apparently they've got material already for a second album. And then they've got some extra material that is already for a third album he was talking about. So, but that one's like far away. You know, his problem is like finishing the albums and all that kind of stuff. That was kind of the deal. Apparently this material he had for a while too. So yeah. But the album is fantastic. Fantastic. Love it. Love it. But then again, I'm a little biased because Cure's like that. They're in my four. For those of you that don't know, U2, Iron Maiden, The Cure, and The Fix. Those are the four bands that I kill for. Okay? I go anywhere, anytime, and I'll travel anywhere for them. I'll definitely watch them when they come to the state, but I will travel for them anytime. And so The Cure is definitely one that I would travel for. Oh, yeah. So we went to New York once to see them 4 times. We saw them 3 in Madison Square Garden, 1 in Jersey. I saw them, how many times was it in LA? I think it was it 2 or 3 at the Forum? Might have been. Yeah, something like that. But yeah. Love it, man. So definitely when The Cure comes, I want to go see them for sure. How do rumors get started by the jealous people? Well, it's what was it? Something they said and something you're here. How do rumors get started? Started by the jealous people, and you're talking about Orion Jones, something like that. Right, or some like that, like Orange Julius or Orange Jones, or is that's the name of the guy? Right? No, rumors. No, that was the Climax something band, right? Rumors, that one. Yeah. I'm thinking of that guy. I saw you and him walking in the rain. That's the guy. It's the Juice Jones or something like that. That's what it was. That's it. That's right. How do rumors get started? Started by the jealous people. And yes, I remember that. You guys are trying to test me here with my musical knowledge. Who sings that song, Rumors? Climax something band, right? Let me see. Rumors song. Timex Social Club. That's it. Timex Social Club. That's it. And then Walking in the Rain song It is. Well, they got the one with the Ronettes, but that's, come on, bro. We won't. Oh, maybe that one's not called Walking in the Rain. I forgot now. What the hell is that song called?
There's a Walking in the Rain by Oron Juice Jones.
That's it. Walking in the Rain, Oron Juice Jones. That's it. That was kind of like in the neighborhood with Juice and Jones and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, there we go. There we go. So I got my 80s music mixed up a little bit there. And again, no prep. This is all you guys just coming out of left field with this stuff. I didn't know that True Fin Fan thought that 10-7 isn't out of the question. Having said that, it's unlikely. Yeah, 10-7 is not happening, bro. I mean, I would love I want to be wrong, dude. Please be wrong. Yes, I would love to see them do 10-7. That would be fantastic, man. That would get me very excited, and I would be very proud of Mike McDaniel, because that means that he really turned shit around. He won some big games too, because beating these shitty teams is not impressive. It's necessity, not impressive. It's when you start to beat Green Bay, and you're going to have to beat them on a short week, and then you've got to beat Houston. And you've got to be, and San Fran is not even as tough as you would expect, but still, that would be a quality win against them. You start winning those games, because that's how you got to 10-7, then it becomes a hell of a run. Now you start to really think, okay, wait a minute, did this guy figure it out finally? But we're so far away from that. You're so far away from me, as Dire Straits would say. So, just pump the brakes. Pump the brakes. Pump the brakes. Let's wait. Okay? McD, as I tell my kids advice about bad relationships, a broken vinyl record, once scratched, every time you come around to that scratch, you tap the needle, but I'll come around to that same scratch. Move on. Devin Jordan, what do you know about Orange Juice Jones? Big O, did you watch the game last night? The Cowboys played like trash. I got to tell you, man, the roof is falling apart. They had to keep it closed. They got problems with sunlight coming through the glass. They're winless at home, right? What else is it? They're 0-5 at home. And I just love Jerry Jones suffering, man. You know what I'm saying? Everything about Jerry Jones disgusts me. Devin, you know what I can't get out of my mind? And this will be here in my mind. Well, there's another thing that I could never tell you about Jerry Jones. I could never tell you about this story because I can't. But another story that you all know is you just watch as the way he's mishandled everything. And he's been such an asshole. And he had a great coach in place, and his ego got in the way. And then he went and got another great coach, and he effed it up with that one too. And he just can't lose enough for me, dude. And the one thing, Devin, that will always stand out with me about Jerry Jones, deep down inside, it shows what kind of a person he is. You remember the day that, players were kneeling before the national anthem, or they would not come out of the locker room, whatever, the protest stuff that was going on at that time, and people were getting bent out of shape and all that. And Jerry decided that he would, because he's the owner and because players don't want to piss off the owner, And I hate that they gave in because they shouldn't have. And he did this clown ass shit where he got them all hand in hand together and they all kneeled together and then got back up again and then moved on. And that to me was like, that was a plantation owner type scene if I've ever seen one in my life. That was the racist dude trying to control the people of color and do it this way, the way the white guy wants to do it. You know, it kind of bothered me. And it's bothered me ever since. You know what I mean? And I've had people on from Dallas. And I've told them straight up, I think Jerry's a racist. And they're like, no, he's not, and all this and that. And I don't think Jerry Jones is a good dude. And I think a lot of the bad karma that he's been a part of, and I'm a strong believer of karma. If you're the person that is trying to help people or do good, then I think it comes back to help you sometimes. Not always. But I think if you are a person that spreads bad karma all the time, then I think you're going to end up getting it too. Maybe not all the time also. But I think there's a good chance it comes back at you. And to me, this is what's coming back at Jerry. All the bad karma and all the bullshit that he's pulled. So I'm not a fan of Jerry Jones, and he cannot lose enough to satisfy me, to be quite honest. I openly root for the Dallas Cowboys and Jerry Jones to lose. Once the Jones family's not there, then yeah, I don't really care if the Cowboys win or lose. But at this point in time, I take pure pleasure out of watching Jerry Jones lose. Total pleasure out of it. I think it's fantastic. Okay? So that's how I feel about Jerry Jones. I think he's a freaking lowlife. Anyway. Let's see. What else do we have? Big O beating these weak teams is like going to a club and only having luck with the ugly ones. Oh, and only having luck with the ugly ones. I got you. Okay. Texans O-line is bad. Hey, man. Just win the game. That's all I'm saying. Tua is getting respect finally in media. You know, the only thing we can pick on Tua is his injury history and lately his decision-making to do the stupid things to get him injured. You know, those are the things that I'm going to pick on. Outside of that, I know the guy can deal, bro. I know the guy can pass. I mean, it's just there. I don't know why media members or fans, it takes them so long to figure that out. Tua's problem is his personal decisions at times that puts him at risk. And then his other problem is the people around him still haven't built the right offense around him to complement his skill sets. And so that's the part that hurts. Let's see. What up, Big O? Checking in from Morgan Hill, California. Hey. All right, Johnny. One-Eyed Jack says, I hate when work gets in the way of me listening to the Big O show. That's very nice of you. Thank you, my friend. Ross must be bad, man. His karma sucks. Yeah, well, his has been bad decisions. Jerry thinks he's the man. So he's the one that's making, he's the one. Ross doesn't hold press conferences after every game. Every week has his own show. Ross doesn't, meddle that way. Whereas Jerry pretty much undercuts his coach's knees every single time by handling things that way. It's night and day. You know what I'm saying? Ross hasn't had good luck like other owners in the league that have done things. But when we're talking about a David Tepper, or we're talking about a Jerry Jones, or we're talking about a Daniel Snyder, we're talking about different types of individuals that are really disruptive to what you do. You know what I'm saying? And that's the difference there. So Ross hasn't gotten it done, but Ross does it way more the way you want an owner to do it overall. Okay, there have been a couple of incidences where, going after Harbaugh and then the Brady incident and all that. Yes, he's screwed up a couple times. But overall, he normally just lets his people do the football stuff. And that's not really what Snyder did. That's certainly not what Jones does. You know what I'm saying? That's not what David Tepper does. So these are people that completely meddle in what their franchises are doing. So it's a little bit of a different story. That's all. That's kind of the way I look at it. Let's see. OJ sang. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Orange Juice Jones. That's it. The juice. He was loose. I don't know. I'd be shocked if Miami beats the Packers or Niners. Not because of the team. I just don't believe in Mike McDaniel. There's nobody who dislikes him before me. I pray I'm wrong. Well, we hope he does get it done. That's for damn sure. When the owner gets way too involved in personnel and football decisions, you get yourself a Jerry Jones. That's right. That's exactly it. Unfortunately, that's the case. Let's get to our 3A Graphics sports calendar. Alan Blanco and the great people at 3A Graphics, please give them a ring, 786-618-1443. Custom printing and embroidery. The Heat over the Sixers, 106-89. They improved to 6-7. Butler with 30 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists. He was 13 of 13 from the free throw line. Tyler Hero had played 32 minutes, had 18 points, scored 16 of them in the third quarter. Not a great game, but a great third quarter. That was a fun third quarter. Terry Rozier and Jaime Jaquez did not play due to injuries. Next up, Sunday, taking on the Mavs, 6 o'clock. That'll be at the Kaseya Center. Tonight on the ice, the Panthers are visiting the Jets. 8 o'clock is the face-off. Florida, by the way, defeated Winnipeg 5-0 on Saturday. So this is a bitch to win the second game on a back-to-back against the same team. The Texans, they rout the Cowboys 34-10 to improve to 7-4. The Cowgirls dropped to 3-7. In football, USA Soccer defeats Jamaica 4-2 to advance to the semifinals of the CONCACAF Nations League semifinals. That'll be next year. Christian Pulisic with his 51st international goal. Saturday at noon, Canes are taking on Wake Forest. They are favored by 24.5. The over and under is 64.5. Marlins hire a new manager, Clayton McCullough. And Saturday at 7:30, Fort Lauderdale United is hosting the DC Power. I'll be there with the wife. If you're going, it's at the old Dolphins training facility. That's their stadium. I'll be there on Saturday with the wife. So if you happen to go, say hi. I'm going to go buy a pair of tickets. I want to go see the girls. I want to go support the girls. I like supporting this kind of stuff before it really takes off. This is when they need you the most. You know what I'm saying? So it's good stuff. I'm happy for that. So hopefully they will grow. And I'm looking forward to seeing a game. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. They're right outside of the playoffs, just outside. They're the 5th team out of the 4 that go. So let's see if they can make a little run and get into the playoffs in their first year. All right. Maybe I can buy a jersey too. Buy a kit. Get a jersey for the games. Might not be a bad ideas. Write that down there. What do we have going on? Let's see. Bitcoin at 92,004 right now. So doing well, doing very well. The Dow is not down 163 points. All right. We like finding a Cutter's Edge Pro MVP of the night, and we do that when somebody performs at a high level for one of our local teams. And last night, somebody earned that honor.
Who's last night's MVP? For your complete landscape solutions anywhere in South Florida, there's only one MVP. CuttersEdgePro.com. Here's our CuttersEdgePro.com MVP of the night.
The fragile one was back, and he was on fire. Jimmy Butler, they needed it at 30 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists. He shot 8 of 12 from the field, 13 of 13 from the free throw line. That's the Butler you need more often than not. If you're going to be competitive, you're going to win. And last night, I know they didn't beat a good team because the Sixers are 2-11, but Butler's performance was the steady factor you needed all night long. And by the way, when you call the folks at Cutter's Edge Pro, William Quigley, Mike, all the great people out there, that's exactly what you're going to get. So whether it's maintenance to keep up your HOA complex, your business, your home, you know that when you add landscaping and you maintain it, it increases the value of your home, right? So call my friends at Cutter's Edge Pro. William Quigley knows how to get it done. Tree trimming, landscape design, outdoor lighting, irrigation design and build, synthetic turf. They do it all. I'm telling you, Dade, Broward, Palm Beach counties, 954-472-0622. William Quigley is an absolute stud and MVP. Last night, Jimmy Butler was our Cutter's Edge Pro MVP of the night.
The MVP of the night is brought to you by CuttersEdgePro.com. Servicing HOAs, condominiums, townhomes, commercial properties, corporate parks, and malls throughout South Florida. CuttersEdgePro.com. Providing South Florida MVP performance every day of the year.
All right. Don't forget to, if you like to support the show, very many ways. One, hit the hell out of that like button. Please, please, please. Share. Okay? Share the link with friends and family members and all kinds of good stuff so they can get information on all the local teams. You can also make a donation, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. And you can make a Bitcoin or Ethereum donation, which we always appreciate that. By the way, the coolest thing that I've added to my life has been the Cash App round out Bitcoin. That's been fun. It's a nice way of adding a little Bitcoin without even trying, dude, which is pretty cool, actually. What else do we have going on in the world of sports? True. Let's see. Frankie Fresco, if you wanted McDaniel to improve, you would not keep reminding us that you did not believe in him from day one. Oh, you're talking to True Fin fan? Well, you got to he's telling you that at least he admits. So if he does come through, True Fin fan tells you, hey, I was wrong. I didn't think the guy would do it. You know what I mean? So at least he's being honest about not believing in him. So, yeah. I, on the other hand, have given up on him. I don't even know how I could get my confidence back. He's going to have to pull off some miracles for me to get any kind of confidence back in McDaniel. You know? That's the sad part about all of this. So, what can I tell you? What else do we have going on in the world of sports? By the way, we'll tell you in a couple of months, but we're going to have another appearance in January at the Big Cheese. Okay, so we'll work it up, and we'll, hopefully this time it won't get canceled because of a storm, and which we don't have any storms right now, which is great. But we're gonna have another event at the Big Cheese. So if you guys want to join us, we'll have all kinds of giveaways and gift certificates, and we gave away Caneswear gift certificates. We gave away Big Cheese gift certificates. We gave away Big O T-shirts, all kinds of stuff. So join us at the Big Cheese, where you can buy by the slice, by the pie, whatever it is, the Big Cheese Supreme. We tell you all the time about the Big Cheese, 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, the jumbo shrimp cocktail, the fried mozzarella sticks, the chicken fingers. I mean, their menu is so amazing. All kinds of baked pastas, of course, lasagna, manicotti, stuffed shells, you name it, they got it. So go to the Big Cheese and tell them that Big O sent you. And go tell Gary and Billy. And by the way, the Big Cheese also does a party platters. So if you want to do a party platter for your business, for your employees, for Thanksgiving, for New Year's, for the holidays, whatever it is, you could call the Big Cheese and they will deliver that party platter for you. Go to bigcheesemiami.com and check out the menus for the party platters. So I know at this time of year, a lot of companies order from the Big Cheese Miami all the time for their parties. So if you're having some kind of a holiday get together and you wonder, hey, what could we get? Man, big ass panel of lasagna, bunch of pies, all kinds of stuff. The garlic breads are to die for. You want to be the boss of the year. You order bigcheesemiami.com for the company party, and make sure you order the garlic breads. Okay? I mean, it'll be you're gonna feel like you're Nino Brown in the kata, and everybody's coming for the crack all over the place. Beam me up, Scotty. I want that garlic bread because that thing is delicious. So bigcheesemiami.com for those party platters. And say hi to Gary and Billy and all the great people out there at Big Cheese Miami. Good people, man. Good people. I'd like to see McD and the Finns finally beat a good team and or game in the cold weather. Okay. You gave him 3 years. That's enough, Big O. Well, I was already basically getting off his bandwagon last year, but yeah, this year it just he kind of put the nail in the coffin for me. Jamesville loves the Big Cheese, best restaurant in the world. It's amazing. Employees have been there for 15, 20, 25 years. It's just a great family atmosphere. Really is. Josh says, hey, I was at the Big Cheese yesterday and it was good as always. Really, Josh? That's very cool. Frankie says, yeah, this changing coaches every 3 years, not good. Yeah, I know. No. But what's good is to find a good coach so you don't have to change him. The good thing is that when you find a good coach, you know who it is. By the way, now that Frankie brings something up that's kind of interesting. Okay. Let me run this guy by you guys, okay? Because Frankie brings something up. All this, because sometimes some of you say, well, changing of coaches is not good, and all this stuff. So, what coach sucked for 3 years in the last 20, 25 years? Okay, modern football, baseball, basketball, hockey, I don't know, help me out. Give me a coach that sucked for 3 years, that was constantly making mistakes, and they kept him around, and all of a sudden in year 4 and 5, he became a great coach, and he's been there for a while after that, or retired or whatever. Has that happened in the last 25 years? I know it used to happen 40, 50, 60 years ago. Tom Landry sucked for years. Tom Landry was a joke for the first couple of years. he would have never survived in today's sports. Never. But what coach sucked for 3 years and was constantly making mistakes, and then all of a sudden he became a really good coach and stuck? Anybody like that? I'm just wondering, is there anybody like that? Not a bad team, but a bad coach, because sometimes you inherit a really bad team the first year, and then the second year you get it going. And it's really not that you weren't a bad coach. You weren't a bad coach. It's just you had a bad coach. Somebody that was getting ripped, somebody that didn't look good. And then all of a sudden turned it on in year 4, let's say. Because Mike McDaniel's coming back for next year. Guaranteed everybody's coming back. Everybody got contracts, dude. So we got to stop with all of that, right? So tell me, is there anybody in the last 20, 25 years that wasn't a good coach for 3 years, and then in year 4 and 5 became a really good coach, and they kept him there now, and he's there now, still there, or just retired recently, or something after a 10, 12, 15-year career or something? Who's that guy? Because I have a hard time believing that any coach survives 3 years of not being good enough. Because I understand you're going to say, well, wait a minute, but he got to the playoffs. Yeah, the talent was good enough. Just like the talent right now is better than 4 and 6. It should be 8 and 2 right now. It should have 4 more wins. But because of that guy, you don't have the 4 wins. Well, and 2 of being stupid. So I'm trying to figure out who's that guy. Who's the guy? It was a bad coach, and then all of a sudden they had patience with him, and he became a good coach. Who is that guy? Caldwell. Who's Caldwell? Or is that another conversation?
Jim Caldwell? Is that who they're talking about?
Jim Caldwell. Jim Caldwell? Jim Caldwell took over for Peyton. Right? He took over right away for the Colts first. And won 15 games. And then they eventually fired him. And then he went to Detroit, and I believe he had 2 out of 3 winning seasons. He deserved an extension in Detroit. I'm pretty sure of that. Go look at Jim Caldwell's record. I can look it up easily right here. I don't think that's accurate. Caldwell was not a bad coach at the beginning, actually. He might have started well and then finished and fizzled out. I know in Detroit he did not deserve to get fired. I remember that. I'm pretty sure. Here we go. He took over in Indianapolis, went 14-2, 10-6. So that already shuts it down. Then he went to Detroit and went, listen to this, 11-5, 7-9, 9-7, 9-7. Brother, 4 years in Detroit, you go 11-5, 7-9, 9-7, 9-7. You deserve a statue outside. Jim Caldwell was a hell of a coach that didn't get enough time. Okay? So yeah, no, that's not a good example. Let's see, what else do we have? Our roster is not better now than it was the last. I disagree, Chris. Should they have not won the Colts game? Should they have not won Seattle? They should have beaten Buffalo. You have a bad coach, dude. You should have 4 more wins on the roster, on the schedule this year. I disagree. You should have won 1 or 2 extra games the last 2 years. He's underachieved every single year. And this year he has massively underachieved. So I completely disagree with you. Flo underachieved his last year here. So the front office has done a better job in providing the talent. They have failed in getting the coach to get the max out of the talent. That's been the problem. Okay? That's been our problem. So I disagree with you on that one wholeheartedly. I couldn't disagree with you more on that. But think about it. Not one of you have come up with a guy, because I hear this bullshit all the time from fans. Well, you can't go changing the coaches every 3-4 years, you'll never get anywhere. Really? Well, who keeps bad coaches around after 3 years? I'm wondering. And what bad coach turns into a good coach after 3 years nowadays? Don't see it. By the way, and I remind you every single time of this, what head coach hired by the Miami Dolphins and then fired went on to go succeed somewhere else? None. Dan Campbell was an interim coach. He wasn't hired as a head coach. Jim Bates was an interim coach, not hired as a head coach. A couple of interim coaches. Jim Bates was an interim coach, not a head coach. All the coaches ever hired as a head coach and fired by the Dolphins never did anything. Never. So that theory that, some of you start floating around, because Frankie started with that whole thing like, well, firing coaches every 3 years, because that's what starts that whole bullshit of, hey, you can't go firing coaches every 3 years. Continuity, this and that. Well, guess what? Nobody does it. Nobody keeps a bad coach after 3 years. And no coaches ever develop after 3 years. And no one the Dolphins have ever fired after they hired him has ever gone on to become a successful head coach in the NFL. None. So every coach they fired deserved to get fired, and none of them ever did anything after that. So, I can't tell you that. Sean McDermott, was he bad for 3 years? Really? I doubt that. I don't think he was bad for 3 years. I'm going to look it up. 9-7 his first year, bro. Second in the AFC East. Lost to Jacksonville in the wild card round. 6-10 the next year. Then 10-6 wild card round. 13-3. 11. No, dude, no. Bad for 3 years, my man. Bad for 3 years, like a bad coach on the sidelines for 3 years. That's what we have. We have a bad coach on the sidelines for 3 years. Sean McDermott came in and right away took care of the Dolphins. He owns the fucking Dolphins. So he did the job. You're supposed to come in and try to own the Bills. See how nobody can really come up with somebody that was bad and they kept him. It just doesn't happen anymore. It's just in the last 20, 25 years, that just doesn't happen. It's not the way things go. 30, maybe not even 30, but 40, 50, 60 years ago, that would happen more often. That would definitely happen more often. But nowadays, that's just not the case, Andy Reid, Chris Johnson, he went 5-11 his first year, then went 11-5 and got to the divisional game his second year. Then it went 11-5, got to the championship game, the NFC championship game. So yeah, that's not bad. That's good. That's really, really good. And that's why he's a Hall of Famer. And by the way, this was even more than 25 years ago. This was 1990. Oh, well, actually, exactly 25 years ago. 99. Not bad. So it was exactly 25, but still does not fit, does not happen in the window. So in 25 years, nobody keeps a coach after 3 mediocre seasons of coaching. The Dolphins are going to do it. They'll keep the guy because they have no choice. They gave him an extension he had not earned, which is sad. That's sad. You gave somebody an extension they didn't earn. Welton Rayom will earn your trust. They've earned mine. They've earned so many of our listeners. Call them 954-966-4646. Bankruptcy, homeowner property damage, condo damage, criminal defense, business owner claims, commercial litigation, personal injury. Looks like we finally made it through hurricane season. Our friends on the West Coast and up north went through a real tough time, folks. And those of you that are still dealing with insurance companies and they're giving you the runaround, please call Welton Rayom. And I want you to save this number, 954-966-4646. You never know when it's going to happen. I hope it never happens. I hope you never have to use them, but you may one day. And if you get into a car accident or something, do not call the insurance companies. You call Welton Rayom. They send their adjusters, and then they handle the insurance company. Get that headache out of your mind. 954-966-4646. Big O good at manipulating people to believe him. Okay. I didn't know I can do that, but hey, that's powerful. Brian, you shall donate $1 million into my bank account right now, Brian. Okay? $1 million into my bank account. Here. Brian, you're falling asleep. You're looking at the Bitcoin. You're saying Big O needs to buy $1 million of Bitcoin right now. I will donate to Bitcoin. I will donate to Big O's fund $1 million. I am Brian Wood. I love to give $1 million to Orlando. That's it. Off to the bank you go. Got to do my best, bro. Got to support my daughter. You know, it's a good way to set her up. So we forced Brian to donate $1 million, and we're off and running. Bad is Cam Cameron, Joe Philbin, and Josh McDaniel. Yeah, so is McDaniel. So is Mike McDaniel, too. Oh, does Welton Rayom work in North Carolina? I still haven't gotten our business interruption payout. I don't know. I don't think so. Let me see. Let me ask Jeff if he does. I don't even know if he's watching right now. Probably not. I think he watches later. But he'll answer the text right away. So I sent him a text. Let's see. I can't imagine what you guys are going through in North Carolina. It's crazy. But I think when you practice law, you're only in certain states, right? Approved. Ooh, he says depends. And we're not talking about like the Pampers. So what do I do, Pat? Do I send you Jeff's number? You tell me. I'll send you Jeff's number. All right. Depends. How about that? I see. I don't know the reach they have because normally we just talk about Florida because we've had listeners in Central Florida, a few now, actually, like several hook up with Welton Rayom because of the storm. We have a whole bunch of listeners on the West Coast, and they've called Welton Rayom, and they went out there, and their adjusters were out there and working that whole thing, dude. So, oh, okay, you got it, Pat. All right. I will definitely send you Jeff's number. He's a good dude. Okay. All right. Here we go. How about it? And there we go. All right. And now, Pat, I am going to give Jeff your number. Okay. There we go. He has your number now. Now you both can save each other's numbers and hook up. There you go. All set. Big O with jokes. Yeah, we have some jokes once in a while. We try to entertain. Big O still hitting the lemon, lime, and honey for soothing the throat when needed. Yes. When needed. Yes. I have been doing it. Michael Lombardo, morning, Big O. Got a bad feeling about New England running QB. I hope I'm wrong. So do I. They can't afford to lose this game. They have to win this game. Okay. By the way, Pat, call the office instead, 954-966-4646, and ask for Dan, I'm told. Okay? So if you're watching, ask for Dan, because he's in a deposition right now. So there you go. This is like service, okay? This is quick service right here. It's amazing. Technology, baby. Big O, why did I think my name was Brian and I was donating $1 million into? Because it is. Your name is Brian. You're all Brian. Every one of you. You're all Brian. You all want to donate $1 million to Orlando. He wants to retire. Please help him retire. So, there we go. Waddle not performing and getting overpaid. Bro, the season's not over. Well, he is not performing, and he's overpaid, and he's underachieving. And those are the facts. I, can't help it if your feelings are hurt, but Waddle is a massive underachiever right now. Watch Jerry hire Belichick this offseason. I don't think Belichick would work for that guy. Pat in Nashville, we just got portable water yesterday after 2 months of boiling water and carrying water to our stores. It's getting better here bit by bit. That's insane, right? True Fin fan, would Marvis Williams fit? You're right, though. Marvis Williams fit. You're right, though. I'm sorry. What's Marvis Williams? Why am I blanking here? What does he mean by that, Sean? Would Marvis Williams fit? You're right, though. I don't know what he's trying to say there. I'm sorry, True Fin fan. I don't pick up on what you're trying to tell me. I'm a little dumb right now, I guess. Big O, a best 3-year coach that has success, it will have to be Adam Gase. No. I said guys that can't coach his first 3 years and then all of a sudden become good coaches. Because Mike McDaniel can't coach. So you tell me. A guy that's been a screw-up for 3 years all of a sudden becomes a good coach? I don't remember one. Yes, what is it?
Oh, he just said the Bengals head coach. I think he meant Marvin
Lewis.
Marvin Lewis, yeah.
Marvin Lewis.
Yeah, Marvin Williams is actually an NBA player. I thought maybe he was talking about something with the Heat. That's why I popped in, and then I saw his comment down below, but he was talking about the Bengals head coach, I think.
Yeah, no, but if I remember correctly, Marvin Lewis always had winning seasons, but he was with the Bengals. It was in like 8-8, 8-8, 11-5, 8-8, 7-9, 4-11, 10-6, 4-12, 9-7, 10-6, 11-5, 10-5, 12-4, 6-9, 7-9, 6-10. I don't know if I can hold that against Marvin Lewis because it was Cincinnati, dude. And he has to deal with Pittsburgh and Baltimore every year, you know? Yeah. I don't know if I call Marvin Lewis a bad coach or a coach that was in a bad situation because you have a cheap owner that isn't going to spend. You know what I mean? And they had their one lucky run that they got to the Super Bowl now, and they haven't been able to do anything after that. And as you see, people are having trouble getting paid because it's Mike Brown. So they're never going to make it. And did I not predict this? By the way, did I not predict when they made it to the Super Bowl? Did I not tell you this smells of Ken Anderson and Boomer Esiason all over again, that the Bengals all of a sudden have this 1 year where they put it together and then they disappear and never come back again. And that's exactly what's happened. So I don't know with Marvin Lewis, it's the best example. It's the best example so far, True Fin fan. Now that we figured out the name that you were talking about, Marvin Williams Lewis. But yeah, that it's the best example. But I don't know if I could call him a bad coach because he's in a bad situation. I kind of think he made the best out of a bad situation. That's kind of the way I look at Marvin Lewis. You know, it's hard for me to call him a bad coach because it's Cincinnati. So that's where we'll differ a little bit on that one. Let's see. What else do we have? I like Life of Brian. Oh, are you guys talking about Monty Python now? Life of Brian? Yeah, baby. I love Monty Python. Let's see what else. Listening to Big O helps me forget that I'm stuck between three women. I have feelings for all three. Damn. That's some trouble. I don't want to be you, bro. Don't want to be you. Yeah. One's enough, man. One's enough. Big O, how about Gordon Bombay? You guys. So David Long now ends up with the Detroit Lions, huh? Maybe he fits that scheme. That's the problem with changing schemes. That when you change schemes, sometimes players don't fit. And it puts you as a coach in a difficult situation because you got to try to make the best of it with some guys that actually may not fit your roster. You know? It's kind of screwed up, but that is the case, unfortunately. By the way, Toyota of Hollywood, we were there last week having some fun. And I just tweeted out a little bit ago this beautiful SUV from Toyota. Oh, my God. That thing is massive, bro. But they've got a holiday savings going on right now. Over 2,000 Toyotas in stock. No payments for 90 days. 2.75% financing available for 4 full years. They'll give you $2,000 over Kelley Blue Book value for your trade right now. They're even hiring service technicians too. Their business is booming. They've got a ton of customers in there. I have never seen a bigger dealership in my life. So Toyota of Hollywood is also hiring. So go check it out. They're hiring experienced master, mid-level, and lube technicians. Top compensation, signing bonuses available and everything. So call them 844-367-5458. The service hotline, by the way, is 844-231-6627. They're at 1841 North State Road 7 on 441 between Hollywood and Sheridan Street. Go see Herbie Lopez and the great people out there at Toyota of Hollywood. They do a job that is absolutely second to none. And you can join us the second Wednesday of every month. We broadcast out there at Toyota of Hollywood, and you're going to love the service because the service is amazing. The service is personalized, and that's what you're going to love too. So great salespeople, man. Really, really good salespeople. And the selection, that's the best part, that you don't have to settle for a car. You can actually pick the car you really like the most. That's a really, really nice one. Big O, how about Mr. Miyagi? Great coach and had a scrub and turned him into gold. There you go. Bruja. I don't know what that means. Brujeria. He's doing some brujeria. All right. Do that brujeria. Have some fun. All right. We are out of here. We appreciate all of you out there, as always, tuning in. Kind of a quiet day, but appreciate all of you. We will be coming back in a little bit with a Crypto Bro show. We haven't done a Crypto Bro show in a week and a half or something since I traveled. So we're going to kick it off again and get it going. Maybe when we start the Crypto Bro show in a little bit, maybe we hit an all-time high this afternoon. How about that? We thank, of course, the great Sean Stanley. We thank Ira Winderman. If you missed that interview, make sure you go back and check it out. Of course, Sean will then put it up shortly. We'll see you all tomorrow. Same time, same place, same bat channel.